Namaste, you beautiful human. I hope you are well and that this transmission finds you in great spirits. My name is Natasha Anand and I am here to share with you a little bit about Jyotish or Vedic astrology. And I'll be sharing with you my offerings, why I feel Jyotish is so important and so relevant for us right now at this time, and also what I'm going to be offering in terms of Jyotish readings. So my journey with Jyotish began earlier this year with a very intense 6-week deep transmission from my teacher Anand Mehrotra from Sattva Yoga Academy in Rishikesh in the Himalayas in India. I've been studying with my teacher for 4 or 5 years now. And when he offered Jyotish the first time, I absolutely was not ready. And when it came back around this time, I just knew with all of the fibers and every cell and every quantum space in my body that this was something that I had to learn and that I had to share with the world. And in journeying through learning Jyotish and now practicing Jyotish, I realized that there is a deep remembrance at a cellular level, at an ancestral level, of this incredible science that I have most certainly practiced this before. My ancestral lineage is from the Himalayas, and so for me, the yogic technologies, philosophies, science has been a journey back into my roots, and I've been discovering deeper depths of my ancestral remembrance and also my past lives that I have served as a yogi and a teacher and a spiritual guide. So when I embarked on this journey, I had absolutely no idea just the profound shifts and insights that would take place for me. I immediately, from seeing my chart, saw how I was essentially at the time of doing my own reading, really pushing against the grain of the natural energies that were flowing from me. And in making that realization, creating that intention in that moment to shift and to move into alignment with the natural energies that are arising for me at this time, I started to see immediate, profound changes in all areas of my life, including my energy levels, including my abundance, my business, my relationship with others, my connection to nature, my ability to navigate the challenges that I face in my life. And actually quite a lot just kind of seemed to drop off and melt away. And this is something that I really want to share with you because Jyotish really is an insight into our soul blueprint. This is really a way that we can decode our soul blueprint. So Jyotish is the eye of the Veda. Its insight gives us knowledge into our life to help us gain that insight into this localized life. So what's happening for us this now? But Jyotish also gives us clues as to the karma and the punya. So the karma is like the energy that we've accumulated, and the punya is like the merit that we've accumulated, slightly different sort of energy. But it gives us an insight into what we've accumulated in past lives, from the ancestral line, from our mother and from our father. And this really does help us with our potential, with moving and leaning into our potential and fulfilling our life. So Jyotish helps us to really move towards utilizing this incarnation at or with the appropriate manner. It helps us to fulfill our life purpose and to give us knowledge that's going to help us in our soul, in our soul's journey. It's going to help us navigate the flow of life in the best possible manner, to live the most purposeful and meaningful life, or dharma path. So how does this work? How is it doing this? How is this reading helping us to do all of this? So at the time that we are born, depending on the location of our birth, the stars systems and the planets have organized themselves in the sky. There's a particular pattern, a particular constellations that are presenting themselves at the time of our birth. And those constellations, those celestial energies, those planets literally imprint us with their energy at the time that we leave the womb and we enter the world. And that imprint stays with us for the rest of our life. So depending then on the position of the planets and the star systems, and also the sub-star systems, which I'll talk a little bit about in a minute, depending on the positioning of all of those celestial bodies, at any time, we have a particular frequency or frequencies of energy beaming down on us from those planets, from those star systems. And all of those energy signatures are going to have a different impact on us, again, depending on our birth chart, depending on that imprint that we already have within us. It's going to be absolutely different for everybody. So this idea that we can kind of read where the stars are today or the planets are today, and we can have this sort of generalized view of what's happening celestially at the moment, there's only a distance that can go to supporting us, because for us, the way to really get the most out of the stars, to get the most out of that energy beaming down on us, is to understand how the particular arrangement that we are experiencing right now impacts us depending on our energy blueprint, on our initial code. So it may be that a planet is in a certain star constellation, and that is particularly strong for us. And there is a potential, an opportunity within the next 30 days for us to really harness that energy. Okay? It may be that because of where a planet is in a particular constellation, that actually that could be very challenging for us, again, because of our birth chart, because of where we were when we were born and where that planet was when we were born. And so knowing that this could be a challenging month for us can help us to navigate that month a little bit better. We know what tools we can draw upon. And this is very much a part of the Jyotish reading that we give. It's not just about giving you a whole lot of information about your birth chart and then that's it. You never see me again. It's about you understanding how that information can actually support you on a day-to-day basis. It can help, how that information can help you lean more in towards your potential, lean more in towards the challenges, to help you foresee them and overcome them. Often, when you've been given your birth chart, there are also a set of practices that can help you to really just stabilize a little bit more in terms of the position that you're in now, to help you come into alignment with your soul's journey. As I mentioned before, I was really out of alignment with my soul's, where I thought I was in terms of my soul's journey. And I mean, on the broader scheme of things, I wasn't really, but there were some very fine details. There were some decisions that I'd made in my life that were really pushing against the grain of where the celestial energies were taking me. And this is really key. So I was able to adopt certain practices to bring myself into full alignment with that soul's journey. Now, I believe that there are 4 main influences on our life, on this life right now, on us right now in this moment. One of the biggest influences on our life is our past life karma, past life merit. So what we've experienced in our past lives, okay? Another big influence for me is our ancestral lineage. So this body and the DNA contained within this of the past 7 generations is often the most immediately felt, okay? So again, the karma and the punya, the merit that we're bringing in through the ancestral lineage. So that's the second one. The third one for me is what we're experiencing in this life right now, our environment, the relationships that we are in, our work or business, our lifestyle, what's going on with our body, energetically, all those sorts of things. So what we're experiencing right now in our life. And then the fourth biggest influence in our lives or on our lives are the energies coming in from the celestial bodies. And with that, I also include the earth, or Prithvi Mata, Mother Earth. This is the celestial body that is our home, and the energies coming in from the earth, from nature, from the environment around us, plus from the other celestial bodies, the star systems, the planets, and the Nakshatras, which are the 27 sub-constellations, which is very unique to Jyotish. It just provides us with another layer of information. So these are the four biggest influences, main influences in our life. And so for me, it makes total sense that understanding where the planets are, where the star systems are, where the nakshatras are for us at the time of birth gives us the best understanding in order to navigate our life moving forward. Now, there are a few really unique aspects of Jyotish which you won't find in any other astrological forms. And Jyotish really is, it's very much the place where Western astrology comes from and a lot of other astrological systems. So within Jyotish, as I mentioned, we have the Nakshatras, the 27 sub-constellations. And this gives us another incredible dimension of energy, but also really very much connected to the moon, because the moon is our closest celestial body and one of the most influential on us. And so these 27 nakshatras really help us to refine again our understanding of what is going on celestially. Also helps us to tune into a finer dimension of energy, and also a finer level of understanding of what is going on for us at this time. We also have the dasha system in Jyotish. Now, the dasha system, I'm not going to go in too much about this. Please feel free to ask me more questions about this, but this is an incredible system. So imagine that our 120-year lifespan is segmented. Okay? Now, the dasha system allows us to come in and predict based upon the position of the stars and the planets, particularly the planets. It enables us to come in and predict very precisely what's going to be happening at certain points in our life in terms of energetically the celestial energies coming in. So it gives us an insight into when is going to be the right time to start new projects, to go inwards, to travel, to start a family, or whatever it is. And the beautiful thing about this is we can actually map out the entire 120 years. It would take a long time, but it is possible. But what it means is when you get your reading, you will absolutely certainly get this, segment of time of now and the coming time where I get to show you what is coming up for you. This helped me massively to understand where because I was at a point when I had my reading where I had some decisions to make about where I was going to invest some finances, whether it was into my business or whether it was into travel. And I had this intuitive sense, but really going into my dasha helped me to confirm and affirm that the decision that I was making was right. And it also helped me to tweak some of the decisions I was making. And also really be confident about those decisions, because some of those decisions involved me, leaving and traveling at a time when actually the whole of humanity was being asked to stay in their homes. And it took a lot of guts really for me to get up and actually go traveling at that time. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't have had that confirmation through my chart that this was absolutely the best and most relevant time for me to be doing that. And following that trip, so much fell into alignment. That's actually when I studied Jyotish, was during this trip. And then coming back, everything in my life completely turned around, in my business and in my personal life. So I am offering Jyotish in a really beautiful way. As I mentioned, as part of the reading, you get to get advice and guidance on different practices that you might want to incorporate to bring you back into alignment. But I'm going to kind of rewind a little bit, because what's involved in doing a reading is really actually quite important to share. So there's often between, 3 and 6 hours involved in doing a reading for somebody, depending on, different factors. And so before I've even turned up for delivering the reading, I've already spent all of that time. And what I do personally is sit in ceremony and I listen for the wisdom and the messages to come through from the divine field of cosmic intelligence, from your ancestors, from my ancestors, from your past lives. And so I'm bringing in a very intuitive aspect to the work that I do, and I'm a channel also, so I'm able to weave that work in. I also work very, very closely to nature. I work with naturopathy. I work with internal family systems psychotherapy. I work as a master yoga teacher. I work with many, many energy practices and fundamental practices of Tantra. And so I'm able to bring a whole wealth and breadth of knowledge, wisdom, and practice to support you in your journey of realignment into your soul blueprint, into your soul journey. And I'm going to take great pride in helping you and designing for you a whole protocol that you can follow to help you lean into those aspects of your reading of yourself, ultimately, that you would like to lean into. Okay, so I mean, there's so much more that I could share on this. I feel like this is enough. I really, really hope that if you have any questions, that you get in touch with me and you let me know, what those are. And if you really want a reading and finances are something, a challenge for you, please get in touch and just let me know. Let me know what's up for you. I always will help people absolutely as much as I can, but it takes for you also to make that next step and reach out and get in touch and let me know where you're at. I have a couple of really beautiful packages. I have just for you to get a reading on its own, and then I have another package which I highly recommend, because the second package, which is where you get a reading, you get a follow-up, and you get access to my monthly or my 13 moon cycle. So there'll be 13 meetups within one surya, one solar cycle. We will meet 13 times, and you can drop in and out of those sessions as many times as you want. And we'll be meeting so that I can talk about the current astrological transits, so that you have your guide, you have your chart, and you'll be able to follow on a month-to-month basis where the planets are, where the stars are, where the Nakshatras are, and you'll be able to get the most out of your birth chart. And you'll know on a month-to-month basis where you want to put your energies, what's coming up, how you can navigate your life in the best possible manner. I can absolutely do payment plans with that. So again, please get in touch and just let me know that you're interested. Thank you so much for staying tuned and listening to this video. I hope to connect with you soon. Namaste.